Presentation of dialogue on Idaho Public Television is made possible through the generous support of the Laura Moore Cunningham Foundation, committed to fulfilling the Moore family's legacy of building the great state of Idaho.
Historic event, and hundreds of Idahoans made the trek to our nation's capital to see it. We'll talk about the inauguration of President Barack Obama and take your phone calls next on Dialogue. Stay tuned.
Today, I say to you that the challenges we face are real. They are serious and they are many. They will not be met easily or in a short span of time. But know this, America, they will be met.
A new president both warning his country and trying to give it hope. Hello and welcome to Dialogue. I'm Marcia Franklin. A welcome as well to those of you listening on public radio and the World Wide Web. In his 18-minute address to the country that he will now lead, President Barack Obama set out the challenges ahead and called for a new era of responsibility. Among the millions in Washington, D.C. listening to the first African-American president were many Idahoans. We'll hear from some of them in a moment. Also here in our studio to talk about the inaugural of Barack Obama are three guests. Yvonne McCoy is a Boise resident and active community volunteer who worked for Idaho Senator Frank Church in the 1970s. She went to the inaugural. Welcome.
Welcome. Thank you.
Ron Coulter, also a Boise resident, is an attorney and retired U.S. Marine Corps Lieutenant Colonel who watched the speech closely from his warm home. Thanks for being here.
Thank you for having me.
And Professor Steve Shaw has been parsing the address to put it in historical context for his students at Northwest Nazarene University. It's nice to see you, Professor.
Thank you, Marcia.
Well, we'd like to hear from you as well. What do you think of the inauguration of Barack Obama? Hope or hype? Give us a call, 1-800-973-9800. But first, let's hear from some of the Idahoans who traveled to Washington for the event.
Well, actually, I always knew this day would come. I never doubted, which is unusual for me. I knew it would be hard work, but I knew this day would come. What I didn't know is that I would get to be here. And this is the most incredible thing. Today's my birthday, and this is like the best birthday gift ever.
I just can't believe, Lord, that I'm worthy to be here, and this life experience is life-changing. And I'm here, you know, I feel like I'm standing in the gap for my family, for those who can't be here. Because my dad, being left in a slave owner's will, and, you know, he was left finances as well as land. And to think about where my roots have come from, to be standing here today, to have been a Democratic National Delegate, to be able to go to the convention and experience all of this, it's life-changing.
I became a citizen in 2007, and this was my first election and first time to cast my votes, and I was very proud to do so. My office is all about Obama, you know, elections, go vote out there, so I'm very excited.
Oh, it's great. It means that you can do anything that you want to do. You know, growing up, I had friends who told me, I was back in Chicago, we thought it was decades beyond reach.
Frankly, between the two, I thought that he is the most conservative, and people think I'm crazy in saying that, but I think he is. I think his attitude toward government is more the true conservative of John Kennedy, Harry Truman, the people who have really made this country move. And unfortunately, that hasn't been a lot of Republican presidents who've done that.
We're here to inaugurate, you know, not only the first black president, but really a sense for Indian people and for the Nez Perce change, and to know that that actually is going to take place.
I am so excited. It's even hard to put it into words. This is a moment that we've all been working for. Probably since the country was formed. All men are created equal, equal opportunities for everyone. The Supreme Court's Brown versus the Board of Education decision, I mean, my heart is full. It's going to explode any second. I'm so excited.
And here is Yvonne in the flesh today. Now, that was the day before the inaugural.
Yes, it was.
Little did you know that unfortunately you'd be standing in a line for 6 hours as part of the Purple Tunnel of Doom ticket holders. And unfortunately, at the last moment, we're not able to actually get in to see the inaugural. You were caught up in kind of a melee of people that were struggling to get to the gate.
That is unfortunate, but I think the most important part is that I was there. We were all there. Even if we didn't get into our ticketed area, we were there to see this absolutely momentous event, something I never expected to see in my lifetime.
And they're showing pictures here of the tunnel with people lined up, including yourself in there, who unfortunately many of them could not make it to their ticketed areas. But what I thought was interesting, and I was in that situation as well, is that people started listening to the address on cell phones, on portable televisions, on anything that they could, you know, people called their grandmothers and had them hold the phone up to the TV. And it was almost kind of like the old fireside chat with, you see the film with people around the radios listening to FDR. People couldn't get in, but they still wanted to listen.
I think that's the perfect analogy. It required us to listen closer, to listen more carefully to what he was saying, rather than to look at the pomp and circumstance. We actually listened to his words and his intent, and they gave me such hope for the immediate future of our country and the long-term future of our country.
I'll ask this of everyone, but was there something that particularly stood out for you, Yvonne?
Oh, there were so many.
Well, pick one. You got the
I
speech
think
there, huh?
one of the two things. One, he said, the time has come to reaffirm our enduring spirit, to choose our better history, to carry forward that precious gift, that noble idea, passed on from generation to generation. The God-given promise that all men are created equal, all are free, and all deserve a chance to pursue their full measure of happiness. That's what I've dreamed of all my life. It's something that my father told me since childhood, that all men are created equal. I could become anything I wanted. And yet, I never believed it. I never saw anyone like me on television, in the movies, unless they were in positions of subservience. Certainly never thought I would see a president of the United States of America.
I know your dad died at 104 and unfortunately didn't live to see this event, but he, in fact, was not able to vote in the South.
He was not. The Voting Rights Bill was passed in 1964, I believe it was, and he was not able to vote in Virginia before that. But he did believe strongly in the democratic system, the American democratic system, and brought us up to believe in it. So I spent a great deal of time, even from early childhood, participating in political activities, including passing out flyers for John F. Kennedy.
Folks, we're talking about the inauguration of President Barack Obama. If you'd like to call us with your thoughts, either positive, negative, neutral, we welcome everybody to call 1-800-973-9800. Again, 1-800-973-9800. And just a final question for you before I move on. You yourself are biracial, as the president is. Your father is African American, your mother is white. So does his election have a particular significance to you because of that?
I think it does. I mean, I voted for him, and I wanted people to support for him. I volunteered for him because I sincerely believe he was the best candidate. He was the one who gave me the reassurance that he could make change, necessary change in this country, rescue our economy. But it certainly gave me a different kind of hope that an African American could become president, that to me he's an example of what this country really is and will become even more so in the future. We're an amalgam of people from all over the world, every race, creed, culture, language, and he's a perfect example of that, that in fact we can grow stronger because of people like him, people who make up this country.